Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Ayo, God. You give me breath. You keep me fresh. So check my mic. Check my life. Check my sight. You get me right. Make me new.
Hi, everybody.
That's what you
This
do.
is
You're my
episode
truth.
7 Fear and Punishment. Now, I hope that I didn't spook you all out with episode 6 and Fear and Demonic Attacks. Remember, it's something that is real. It is not so real. It may feel so real, but it is real. When it's not on the movie and it's happening to you in your bedroom, it is real. So remember, please reach out to a local pastor, a local church. Don't be afraid to even email them, call them, let them know what you're dealing with. If you feel within your heart and soul that that church is not the one for you, then keep looking until you find the pastor and the congregation or ministry that can help you deal with these things. Now, this week we're looking at fear and punishment. And disclaimer, I am not a licensed doctor. I come to the microphone with a lot of experience. And within my experience, I will navigate you to getting the help that you need by letting you know that if you need something that is more spiritual, that is more physical, more mental, and you're dealing with something that's very extreme, please find a primary care doctor. Please find a counselor if you need more help. I encourage you that if you're dealing with something that is very heavy, get the help that you need. Do not isolate, self isolate. Do not feel like nobody understands. I am somebody who has gone through attacks, demonic attacks, dealt with fear. Still, it tries to come up to get me not to record these podcasts. So I'm a living testimony to you to let you know that it does exist. And not every time did my friends understand. Not every time did my family understand. Not every time did you want to go and tell someone, hey, guess what? I had demonic attack. But today's generation, we have no excuse for anybody to say, I cannot get help or I'm afraid to talk. You can go on Facebook Live and tell your story, and somebody out there is going through what you're going through. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Let's not make any excuses for anything. I want you all to know that I'm recording this having just come out of the hospital. They asked me, where are you going? I said, please discharge me. I have an appointment. They wanted to find out, what appointment do you have? They kept badgering. I said, I have an appointment. I remembered God telling me to shut up sometimes. And that's a later episode, a later season about the business of shutting up. I've made my mistake one times too many, telling the wrong people who had demonic agendas to stop what it is that God has called me to do. So let's jump right in. Fear and punishment. I want to define punishment for you. According to the Merriam Online Dictionary, punishment can be seen as suffering, pain, or loss that serves as retribution. Serves as retribution. That's like saying payback. A penalty inflicted on an offender through judicial procedure. Severe, rough, or disastrous treatment. Let's look at those definitions. Suffering, pain, or loss that serves as retribution, a penalty inflicted on an offender through judicial procedure, severe, rough, or disastrous treatment. Now, you might be saying, what have I done that I should have a penalty inflicted on me as an offender through judicial procedure? What have I done that is so wrong that I should get a severe, rough, or disastrous treatment? What have I done that requires me to endure suffering, pain, or loss that serves as retribution? And a lot of times people will blame it on God. And they will say, well, God has me suffering. A lot of people are afraid to be, they want, I don't even want to say Christian, a Christ follower, a disciple. They want to say that Christianity is punishment because they can't do whatever they want to do. So I can understand where somebody will come from with that, because who wants to feel punished? Nobody does. Especially if you're not doing anything to have that punishment come upon you. You're going to be like, what am I doing wrong? I didn't even do nothing. I didn't even say nothing. And that's how you're going to feel. So I understand. And fear does that. Fear punishes you. And you're going to say, how does fear punish you? Think about it. If I get you to stop being courageous at doing something that's for the betterment of people. Now, I'm not talking about being courageous and hurting someone. You're a brave heart, but you're killing somebody in the community. You're destroying somebody's life. You're destroying somebody's marriage. You're destroying somebody's identity. You're bullying somebody. You're destroying somebody's belief or who they are. I'm not saying those type of things, right? Because that's not what you should be doing. If you're bold enough to be doing those things, and that means you have to reap a consequence. But we're talking about fear right now. If I can get you to stop being positive to people, to stop encouraging people, and you play small in the background, right? Then I have you where I could punish you. How can fear punish you? Fear can use the demonic attacks. Example, I see that during the daytime, remember now, I am your enemy. Follow along with me. I am the power, the principality, and that's not what I want to be. Let me not use me for an example. Let's use a person A. Person A who's in your life is the power, the principality, the spiritual wickedness in high place. And they see that you are excelling at financing. You're helping people accrue wealth in your family. You're helping people in your family, your immediate family, your extended family. You're helping your girlfriend to accrue wealth. And maybe she had what they would call demon wise. Maybe she had a spirit spouse, or the spirit of poverty runs through her family. And the spirit spouse is like, who are you to be coming in her life, helping her get wealth? Because according to their books and their laws, their family should be in poverty spiritually, or she should be in poverty spiritually. There's a hit out on her life spiritually that she should never achieve. But here you all now, boyfriend or classmate, and you are doing a good job at teaching people how to be wealthy. And you have proven success because you have some people in your family who have become wealthy off of the things that you've shown them, right? So now the enemy, the power, the principalities looking at you like, we got to get him out of her life. He's trying to destroy what we're doing. She's us. She belongs to us. Their family owes us because they have an oath that they made. Whether you were in a sorority, fraternity, secret society, whatever your grandparents or great grandparents did, or maybe you did it, or maybe their immediate family did it. Present day generation did it. So now that thing is coming back to collect it spiritually. It's coming back to collect it. So now you come along, and here you are now, courageous. You out there, whether you're in New York, California, Miami, you're in London, wherever you are, you're out there. Now, you're not just watching the telly. You're actually out there on the corners getting people to understand the importance of wealth. And now you fall in love with this girl and you're helping her. Or maybe she's not somebody you fell in love with. She's a classmate. Now the enemy has identified you as an op because now you're interfering with what they're trying to do spiritually. So now what fear would do to you is come and attack you in your dreams. Now you're having all these weird dreams. Now you're going through all this foolishness. Now you're like waking up in cold sweats, can't sleep, starting to stress. Where you were courageous being wealthy, now you're feeling something. You're feeling sick. You're feeling physically. Maybe I don't want to teach this no more. Maybe I don't want to teach wealth or finance. Maybe you want to be something else instead of that. So now it's attacking you in your dreams. It's also adding on sleep paralysis. You're being held down. After being held down a couple times in your sleep, you now, because you are unaware of the enemy attack, you don't know that you should get up and rebuke that. You should pray before you go to sleep. You should pray and fast after attacks like that. But you don't know that. And because you don't know that, you get up like any other day and you go about your business. You're out there teaching her or teaching the fam about wealth. And the enemy sees that and doesn't like that. So it uses demonic attack to punish you. He is not going to do that again because I'm going to punish him through giving him negative dreams, bad dreams. I'm going to punish him through sleep paralysis. I'm going to send out, well, let me not say me, this person, this entity. Remember, they're high ranking, they're high level organization. So they're going to send out their low level, high ranking, mid level demons to come and attack you. So now it's a punishment. Oh, you're trying to help her. So now it wants you to be afraid. So now it attacks you through that. And it brings fear in. Because now you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this no more. You don't even know why you feel that way. You woke up and you feel that way. I'm not going to teach about wealth anymore. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Right? And the sleep paralysis. So it's attacking you as a form of punishment against you to incite fear. So it sees that you're courageous, but it wants you to not be courageous. So when you go to sleep, it is watching you when you go to sleep. And because you have to remember the word of God, we battle not with flesh and blood, but with powers and principalities. We are not just flesh and blood. We have an inner man, a spirit man, whether you acknowledge it or not. So now you've had those demonic attacks. It sees that you're helping this person try to get out their finances. Now it's coming against you. So now the fear cripples you. It cripples you because now you don't want to perform. You no longer have an interest in teaching about wealth. You lose the appetite for it. Where you were once passionate about it, you lose it. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. You don't know why you're feeling that way. You stop doing it, or there is a lack of performance. You don't do it as much. And not just for the person that I'm giving an example of. Maybe you've had fear. And maybe you're not the person who were courageous. You're the person who had fear. And in the fear that you've had, it crippled you. You've had too many negative dreams, too many scary dreams, too much sleep paralysis. And now it's crippled you because you're not going to do what you're supposed to be doing, or you stop doing whatever you're called to do. Whether you're supposed to be a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it is, you stop doing it. Or you slowly, like every now and then, do it. Or it cripples you because you end up not living up to your potential. Everybody tells you, oh, you're good at finance. You should have been doing this. You should have been doing that. Or why you stop doing this? You ever hear people say things to people around you or to yourself like that? Oh, man, I was just doing that because I just wanted to do this, when you know that you're good at it. So fear has crippled you to cause you to not live up to your true potential. And you end up not fulfilling your calling. So the punishment that comes along with fear is the enemy uses fear through demonic attacks. For some of you all, you never had fear until the demonic attacks happened. Some of you all already had fear and you were battling it. This is for those who didn't have fear. You were courageous. You had no problem getting up. Everybody knows you a go-getter. You on a grind. You handling those. You standing on 10 toes, doing what you have to do. But now the enemy has been watching you, saw that, came in through dreams, came in through sleep paralysis. You find yourself being afraid. Now the fear that you have has crippled you to less perform, or you stop performing. And then you really don't be the person who you're supposed to be. You don't be the person who teaches wealth webinars. You don't be that business person. You don't be that chef. You don't be that nurse. You just had to be the PCA, or you just had to drop out of med school. Right? So now we move on from fear crippling you. So the demonic attack that fear uses, the dreams, the sleep paralysis, then it cripples you. Now you need to know that fear works with other spirits against you. So now I got you down. I've got down your surveillance. I'm in now, right? Your dreams, I done infiltrated it. Now you got sleep paralysis. The doctor telling you this is that, that's that, but you know something is holding you down because you find yourself, even though you're not faith based, you find yourself trying to say the blood of Jesus or call on Jesus because you remember grandma taught you that, or you heard a friend tell you about it. You try to do it, and when you finally say Jesus, it goes away, right? So now that they have your attention, they have access to you. Fear has opened up the door for access to you. So now you got other spirits working along with that. So now you used to be this person who was courageous. You're going out there on the grind, doing what you have to do. Remember, you standing on 10 toes. Everybody knows that you are the person that helps people to do this one thing and that you're good at it because they've even told their friends about it. You've gotten more numbers. Your numbers have gone up on social media because you're good at what you're doing. But now fears came in and crippled you. You stopped posting. You stopped speaking. You stop standing up for what you know. So now one of the spirits that's working against you, because fear doesn't work by itself. The spirit of fear works with rejection. Now you start feeling rejected because you're going into these places where you used to light up the room. People are overlooking you. They act like they don't even know who you are. Right? They turn their nose, turn their head, turn their spirit against you. And it's not them. It's the spirit that's working with fear. Because it want to break you down. It wants to break down your spiritual immune system. I got you afraid. You were not really afraid. You were courageous. And then I waited for you to go to sleep. Now I start messing with you through the dreams, through the sleep paralysis. Then you start slowly like losing interest. Now the doctors will call it that you're depressed. And this doesn't go for everybody because some people are depressed. And remember, go get the proper help that you need to get out of that depression. Don't stay depressed forever. There's only a season to be in these different emotions. Don't give place to the devil. Remember to listen to the last episode. So now you have rejection. Nobody wants to feel rejected. It's like saying, ugh. It's like somebody saying, ugh, at you. When you know you go in there and you give it your best and the other person who they're looking at doesn't even have to try. Doesn't even work up to your caliber. Then you have poverty. So now you used to be the person on the grind with your webinars or on social media. Now you start losing. You don't get anybody to follow you anymore. Nobody wants to buy your class. Nobody wants to buy your product. No interest. So now it's messing with your money. And poverty keeps you in lack. And when you're in lack, you feel some type of way. You don't feel good about that. Then there's delay. Delay uses the time as a weapon of torment. So there's fear working with delay. You were up to get the next award or you were up to get the next opportunity to go do a speaking event. All of a sudden now, you're told that they canceled the event. Or you're told you have to do it next year. And you're wondering, hey, we just had it in order. We made the agreement. We did the paperwork. And now time comes in. Now there's delay out of nowhere. And you know what I'm talking about. It got postponed. It got canceled. It got pushed back. So now you're being tormented by time. Okay, I was waiting for this event. This is going to be my big event. What happened? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. So now in your mind, you're thinking. So now you're scrambling. Or use mocking. And mocking is something that ridicules you. You know what mocking is. When you had that person that will copy you in school and you feel some type of way. Like, oh, he copying me. Or he biting my style. Somebody following exactly everything that you're doing. To make you stop. Because then you're going to want to stop doing it. In order to get that person to stop, you figure if I stop being who I am, then that person will stop copying me. But that's not how it works. It's being done that way to make you say, I'm going to belittle myself. Because that's really what mocking does. Mocking ridicules you, belittles you, or mocks your person's faith, identity, or purpose. It attempts to distract, deceive, and limit someone's growth or progress in life. If somebody starts mocking you, so you were once courageous and you were on stage, standing on 10 toes, giving your TEDx talks, giving your TED talks, going to talent shows, going to businesses, speaking to them about financial wealth. You were helping people in the community. You were going to community centers. You were doing it. And then because of the demonic attacks, through the fear, the punishment it used against you, you start slowing down. Now you see this person who was your right-hand man, ace boon coon, whatever names you want to say, your sidekick, they start doing what you were doing. And they do it to a T. They mock everything you say. They even use your lingo, your phrase, your slang, whatever you want to call it. And they do it to ridicule you. That spirit does it to ridicule you. So it's working along with fear. If I keep ridiculing you, if I keep belittling you, then you'll shrink. And when you shrink, you're not going to want to be who you are. I've succeeded. If that's me and fear working together, then I've succeeded. And think about how the enemy operates. Or revenge. Revenge punishes or harms others. So fear will work with revenge, the spirit of revenge. Have people coming against you for nothing. Seeking revenge against you when all you did were help them. So they have offense, which is tied in with revenge, because in order to seek revenge on somebody, there has to be conflict, there has to be offense, you holding a grudge against somebody. So now they have somebody holding a grudge against you, and their revenge. People secretly revenge you. People secretly don't like you when they see that you have a light and you're standing on 10 toes doing what you're supposed to do. So now they kind of envious, and they have an envy, a revenge towards you. And that's what fear does. And it'll work with other people, other spirits. It'll work through people using the spirits, some of the spirits I just mentioned to you. The spirit of rejection, the spirit of poverty, spirit of delay, a mocking spirit, and spirit of revenge. In the Bible, we have Elijah. Now, Elijah carried out judgment against the prophets of Baal. The prophets of Baal believed in their gods. So it's sort of like a contest. Elijah challenged them to, well, if your God is this, and if God is this, let's see what your God is going to do, and let's see what the God that I speak of is going to do, right? He's a disciple of God, so he has to follow and carry out what God called him to do, right? So the judgment was carried out. Their God never came through. And that was them telling on themselves. Like you boasting about your God, but your God does not do anything. So it proved to what the word of God was saying, and judgment was carried out. Their lives were taken for that. Now Ahab tells Jezebel of the success. So Ahab is the one that goes and tells Jezebel that, oh yeah, Elijah just did all of this and Elijah did that. Now Elijah was victorious because Elijah didn't just go and carry out judgment. He was instructed to do so, but he gave the people a chance. They were given a chance to prove that their God was this and that. And if it didn't turn out that way, right? So then Ahab tells Jezebel, oh, Elijah won. Elijah won I don't want to say won the bet. Elijah won in this. It wasn't about Elijah winning. It was about him letting them know who God is, right? For those of you who don't believe in God, you may not feel that way, but you may relate to it in movies like, again, The Avengers, Batman, all of those things. The Black Panther, the enemy and their God. Or if you read Greek mythology, there's a God, a lesser God, a greater God. So in that aspect. So Jezebel then hears about the success. She sends death threats. Now think about it. You just defeated an enemy. You should feel good, right? But not necessarily, because now, even though you did that, that's a victory. But now Jezebel sends a death threat against you. Think about that. Think about if you're being courageous and teaching somebody about wealth, and you get a death threat that tells you, you need to stop. I'm coming for you because you're teaching about wealth. I'm coming for you because of this. When Elijah found out about it, he ran for his life. He was afraid. So the punishment would be like the fear and punishment working together. Think about the spirits that I said that work with fear. So Ahab tells Jezebel of his success, And then Jezebel sends death threats. So now you have, you would say, a spirit of murder, spirit of rejection, a spirit of revenge. Revenge and murder go together. Offense, revenge, murder, envy, right? You got to have all those feelings in order to be in that state of mind. Now, all of those spirits are coming against him as a punishment, as a retaliation. Now, remember what the punishment, the definition said? A penalty inflicted on an offender through judicial procedure, severe, rough, or disastrous treatment, suffering, pain, or loss that serves as a retribution. So Elijah runs for his life and he ends up in the wilderness. Many of you all have ran for your life because of the sleep paralysis, the night terrors, the demonic attacks, the crippling of fear of how it made you feel as a result. That's why you wanted to result to the background. He goes into the wilderness. In the wilderness, there's nothing there. See, if the enemy can get you to run into wilderness, then your problem is out in the wilderness, it's nobody there. But thank God that Elijah is one of his own, because what happened for him is, while he ended up fearing and running for his life and ending up in the wilderness, he ends up praying for his death. We talked about being careful what you speak out of your mouth in regards to how you use your words, life or death. Elijah began to speak death over his life because he had had enough. He was afraid. He just was victorious about the judgment that was passed against the prophets of Baal, only to then run because now here comes Jezebel. And some of you all have a Jezebel in your life threatening you now. You were doing well, and that person saw, and they went back and were Ahab. They were that Ahab that said, that's the smear campaign. That's the gossipers. Telling Jezebel, oh yeah, he did this. He sold this much product. He got this many followers. So now they watching you. So on top of the human being enemy watching you, remember the spiritual enemy and high wicked places, spiritual wickedness and high places is watching you. So he's there praying for his death. But thank God that God used an angel to appear before him, to feed him, to restore him, to strengthen him. God uses that angel to provide for him, to strengthen him in that time when he became fearful. Before we close, I want you all to think about that. You've been doing something great for the greater cause of people, your family, your friends, your local community, and you have an Ahab in your life, a Jezebel that is sending death threats against you, right? Sending threats against you because you're doing something that's amazing and that's awesome. They're low vibrational, you're high vibrational, and they see that. If you would stay with God and not lose sight of that, follow up with the scriptures, keep reminding yourself of the scriptures. Even if you feel afraid, you have to be reminded that God says not to be afraid. Don't be afraid. He said, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. If you know that you serve a God that tells you not to be afraid, even though you might feel it, then why should you walk in fear? Even with the death threat against his life, Elijah ran, but God still showed up. God still reminded him of who he is, who he was. And I want you to remember, if you're dealing with demonic attack and being punished for something you didn't do, please, I ask of you to go before God. He knew you before he formed you in your mother's womb. Go before God. Go before him. And let him know about the Ahab and Jezebel in your life. You don't have to be afraid. Don't self-isolate. Remember, seek a local church. Find a community, whether it's a community center, whether you're on a college campus, whether you're at work. We know that a lot of the co-workers are not your friends. But even there, you might be able to find one person, but outside of work, you should be able to build a relationship with at least one or two people who can help you. But you don't have to do this life alone, and you shouldn't. Reach out to your local pastor. Join some connect groups at church. Online, tell your story. Talk about it. Let other people know that you too are dealing with demonic attack. I've dealt with it. And I'm here to tell you that I'm still here, that God has kept me. And I hope that this episode has been a blessing to you, as it's always a blessing to me to come before you and have the opportunity to speak to you, to speak to your soul. Remember, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but one of a love and a sound mind. This is the To Be Called podcast. And remember, I love you, and so does God. Thank you.
It's been so much fun. It's your girl signing off on the ones and twos, but not without him. You're going to have to choose. So seek his kingdom first, and all things shall be added unto you. I ain't nothing without you, Abba. Mic check, mic check.